And I think we're live. We're just having a laugh. I'm going to check on my group, Muriel, but we're on live. We are live. Yay. So,
Yay!
hi, everyone. We are on Facebook Live for my interview with Muriel from AstroLife tonight. I hope you guys are there to join us. Otherwise, please watch the replay. So I'm so excited about speaking to you today because we've had like super moon, blue moons, blood moons, woo! Lots of energy going around. But for those of us that are not familiar with what you do, could you tell us a little bit about what an astrologist does?
Yes, so an astrologist, what I do in general, I'm a little bit different, so I will just jump on that one as well, just to explain how I am a little bit different. But an astrologist actually studies the stars and see what they actually place to know the energy. So just very quickly as an example, people understand about the moon exactly as you were talking when there is a full moon. So they already know the effects of a full moon, or they understand that a moon is going to affect the tides, which are thousands of liters of water. And because we are made of 73% of water, we are actually affected by the moon and, full moon, new moon, obviously the tides. It's just that sometimes we don't know. We wake up and we are really happy, or another day we just don't feel really well, thinking, oh, what's going on with me? And the moon is a very soft energy. It's the feminine energy. So just imagine when there is a retrograde with the planet Jupiter, which is the biggest, or Mercury, which is the closest. These planets, in fact, affect us a lot more. So that's what I do. I study the stars, and then I tell people what's going to happen. But I'm a little bit different than most of astrologists, not a little bit, quite different, because I actually have studies in all those years, a lot of things. So I actually blend a lot of different elements, not just Western astrology, but the elements, the Chinese astrology, numerology, and I follow Jupiter's, but of course the Western astrology as well. And I mix them, blend all together, and I do a formula which is different from others. So that's what I do. And that's what usually astrologists do, working towards that, yes.
I think the thing that really got me interested in astrology, because for me, coming from a business background, the only time I really thought about astrology was, looking at star signs in the paper and when you meet someone whether I think I'm going to get along with them. But the thing for me, when I met you and you said, the tides, the water of the tides is being affected by the energy of the planets, and we are made of water. And so it just made sense to me that we would be affected too. And as you were saying, the full moon, when the full moon comes out, people do go a little bit crazy. So yeah, when you said that, it really, something really gelled within me to go, okay, there is something in this. We do all respond to the energies around us. Now, your company is called AstroLife, and you've got a private Facebook group as well that I'm a member of as well. And you've got AstroLife, and your tagline is in sync with the universe. So I was wondering whether you could tell us a little bit more about why it is so important to be in sync with the universe.
Yes, so exactly right, as you said before. In fact, it is a very precise science. When you start learning and looking at the cycles and the way it works, it's actually very precise, like to the day, to the hour. I can see things and predict things. And it took me a long time to even work as a professional, because I needed to see that it was working. I'm coming also from a background of business, so 2 + 2 = 4. I needed to see that it was actually working with the people, with the results. I just couldn't do it like that if I was not sure. And so be in sync with the universe, exactly right. That tells that you have to be in sync. Like if you were starting a business, for example, if we're talking business-wise, for example, when Mercury was retrograde, or even if you named a company that is going to be born and created at a time that is not compatible with you. That company is not going to be working. So I look after a lot of business people, multimillionaires and milliardaires, and very, very high people as well, obviously, all the others that want to get there, to name their company, to do everything when it's in sync with them. Just a very quick example. I just had a lady the other day. She said, okay, I've got 2 restaurants. She did one when the stars were really good. And that restaurant was really, really working well. And then she shuts that restaurant and she opened another one, exactly on the same principle, the same work. They did the same. It's got nothing to do with them. And I opened that restaurant when the stars were not good. And that restaurant, they were working so much, and it just was not bringing any money. So what we did is we renamed it at the right time. And now it's starting to pick up because it was done with the stars and that was compatible. So a lot of things that I do for business people as well. And obviously a good time to, sign a contract or not, or things like that. I always make sure that my customers do the things at the right time to just avoid all these problems. Yes.
Yeah, and I've known you for over a year now, and every time you said to me, "Don't do this, don't do that," something's happened. So, as you know, I purchased a property late last year during the Mercury retrograde, and I could hear your voice. And of course, they stuffed up the contract twice. It wasn't a big deal, but and it just I kept hearing your voice going, "Oh yeah, I signed on the wrong day," and and it's little things like that kept happening. So it's quite interesting that. When you're in sync, you know it, don't you?
Yeah. And still, you were still kind of okay compared to the rest because you were still in a year with the fire, which is your element and stuff like that. But imagine with these problems, if it was multiplied at a time where your cycle was done, that would have been just problems after problems. So this is how precise it is, with the cycles. This is how it works. Yeah.
Because it's not just about the bigger energy of the planet, it's also about your own birth chart as well, because we bring different energy. I mean, I don't know if this is right, but I think individually we bring different energy into the world. So and that affects you have a different experience then.
Yes, because exactly right. If a Mercury retrograde was with someone that is in their good years, that Mercury retrograde is not to be as good as the one that are down on the bottom. You know how we go cycles, the one that is down. This Mercury retrograde doing something at that time would be something that could affect his life forever in a negative way. It could really be something dramatic in their lives. Yeah.
So going off track a little bit, because that sparked a question in my mind. A lot of people on social media, I noticed, have been saying, 2017 was the worst year ever, and obviously we all didn't have a really bad year because the energy wasn't in sync or there was some sort of transformational energy happening. But this kind of fits in with what you're saying. We all have different a place in the world, I suppose. Is that why some people can have a really good time and other people not?
Yes, absolutely. And that is exactly right. So in fact, we all go up and down, and we've got these cycles of 2 years. So 2 years when we are up, 2 years when we usually get the energy taking us up, and then 2 years where we give the energy to the universe, and then these 2 other years where we are down, or these 2 other years where we are down. And in fact, the universe is really well done, because if we were on the top of the wave all the time, at the end we would be tired. And not only just that, we would be moving forwards, not taking the time to actually reflect. So we do have timetables in our lives, but the universe is actually a little bit better organized than us, because it's going to say, no, time to rest, time to slow down. So Mercury, retrograde every 2-3 months, and saying, no, slow down now. It's time to reconnect. It's time to finish what you started. In fact, it works on a different timetable than us. So that goes back a little bit to the question you were asking me before, how it is important to be in sync, because we want to go. But sometimes it's time to stop. And human nature doesn't really want to say, okay, I'm going to just stop and reflect and see what's right or wrong. But we are here to be better individuals. That's the whole part of the journey, to be and to be learning and evolving all the time. So the universe is like, no. Now you're going to slow down and think, and pause. And so that's the way it works. But yes, absolutely. Some people had amazing years last year because all the people that needed that fire energy in the rooster had really, really good times. And obviously people, for example, that were made of water, the elements of water were just like disappearing and thinking, what's going on with me? I mean, they were boiling and then being like a mist, like a vapor, and not holding anything. And in fact, that time is actually made to actually really reflect and say, okay, well, maybe the life I've had so far is not working for me. Maybe I should readjust and restart. So that's the way it goes.
And that happened to a lot of people in 2017.
Yeah. There was a lot of people because it was, so fiery and with the rooster. But what I try to do with the customers is, because we know now that principle goes up and down. What I try to do is at least make sure they don't crash down. So when they're on the top, when they are good staff, I make sure they've got some passive income. I sort them out and stuff like that. That's why when I do a reading, I do the reading and then I look after my customers. I don't just let them because the stars keep on moving and changing. So you need to keep on looking after your clients. clients. So I do that, or I do annual readings, you know, to make sure they're going to be following Jupiter's and are going to really go towards where the luck is in their years, you know. So for example, if they are Aries this year, for example, they've got the 8th house, so they're going to get some money. Some others, you know, like Leo, they are in the 4th house, so it's all about organizing their base and you know, the house and the business and stuff like that. So there are different years where it's good to develop different parts of your lives, and that works with the universe as well. So it makes things easier.
Yeah, and I suppose everybody's got a part to play at any given time. So the up and down, you know, I was talking to a couple other business coaches this morning about how it's not always just things going up and celebrating success all the time, because you need the downtime. You do need for sometimes for things to not work to learn those lessons to get you back up again. So yeah, I mean, everything fits in, and I know working with you that it is an ongoing long-term relationship that as you become, when I first started down this journey, all the new concepts are quite new to me, but as you become more in sync and you become more receptive of the energy around you, you do tend to then get more insight, and it's great having you to refer to and go, oh, what's this I'm feeling and what's happening? So yeah, definitely agree that it's not something that you just kind of go, oh, this is my chart and this is how I'm going to approach life. It's certainly a lot more multidimensional than I have thought.
Yeah, and that's why I give the monthly updates. When I do the reading, all my clients, once they've done a reading, I give them the monthly update, so they really know at least what the month is going to, you know, be bringing. So at least they are ready for it. And obviously, the people that come to retreat, I give them a little bit more. I give them the whole year ahead.
Oh, I've got it all mapped out in my iPhone. Best day to do this. You know, I love the way that you give the dates of. You know, these are the best days. Don't start new business, but look after your existing clients. You know, I've got them all in there because you can plan your business activities around it. I mean, hey, in business, we need all the help we can get. So it just makes sense to bring that in as well.
Yes.
So with that in mind, can you maybe tell us a little bit about what you think 2018 has in store for us without giving too much away?
Yes, I can't give too much because that is the treat I give to my clients that come to retreat. So, of course, I've got to give them something that the others don't get. But in general, yes, of course, I can talk about it. So it is going to be around the world. I'm not going to give the good times and the bad times, but what I can give is the banks are going to be developing. You can already see it with new ideas, you know, with the Bitcoins and things like that. It's something that is evolving. So it's not going to be the end. There's going to be some other things because of the Bitcoins, and I'm not saying if that is a good thing
blockchain.
or not, because everybody's got their idea. But what I'm saying is that because of that aspect, the banks actually are going to need to readjust. So that was already, you know, in the cards that was going to be something that is going to be developing. And also the laws, there's going to be some stuff also organizing in the way things have been working so far. It's going to be stabilizing, but restructuring in a different way, especially with the dog, because the dog equals Aquarius. So it's going to be new ideas, new ways of developing things.
Sorry, Misha's
You've got your little assistant, yes, just coming in. And because of Jupiter as well in Scorpio, it's going to be developing everything. Hello!
Hi, that's Muriel.
It's going to be everything to do with the unknown, actually talking about astrologies or energies and stuff like that, because it's in Scorpio, Jupiter, all that, and the research about things that we don't see. So we're starting to kind of understand that everything is made of energy, a little bit on the principle of astrology, but also, you know, the crystals, the plants. We're just at the beginning, you know, when they do experiments at the crystal castles, you know, plugging in these plants that play music, or suddenly, you know, they start...
Oh, that was beautiful.
yeah. Or they start opening doors, because that's what they do in the US, you know, you can see some stuff where they...
The science is starting to catch up with all that now. Like there's okay, sweetheart. Sorry about that.
No, that's
She's a water child. So.
Yes, she is.
But yeah, like science is starting to catch up with all of that now, you know, quantum physics research about how, you know, that we are connected energetically, you know, from a distance, you know, it's just really exciting to see we are becoming much more aligned. You know, this is all stuff that have been going around that are really coming into the mainstream now. So yeah, it's great.
Yes. It's the tip of the iceberg, and we're not even there yet because we don't even understand, the souls. I talk about quite often this book, Dying to Be Me, and that woman that comes back and she's healed and for cancer.
That's
Things
a
like that
gorgeous
we're only starting to understand. So there's going to be a lot of research going towards that because the Scorpio, that's what it does. The Scorpio wants to find the truth, The Scorpio wants to go deep down and finding what is working and what is not working, especially the unknown. So that's going to be really developed in 2018. There's going to be some more researches done towards that.
That's awesome. So tell me a little bit more about your upcoming retreat. You've got one coming up on the Gold Coast in 2 weeks.
Yes.
I know I went to the last one.
Yes.
So yeah, tell us a bit more about that.
Yes, I'm very excited because we're going to be doing a big fiesta a big party on the first night when we are going to be arriving, because there's a lot of people, friends, and awesome people. I'm really excited about it because we are going to be not only celebrating the new moon, which is in Aquarius, but we're also going to celebrate the Chinese New Year. So that's exactly the right time where we're going to be shifting. And so there's going to be amazing people coming up, and obviously you and and of course all the others. So everybody's going to be participating, and yes, it's going to be on the Gold Coast, and people can I still have some room, so they can log in, and they can actually go onto my page, onto my group, AstroLife Be in Sync with the Universe, and they can still come. There's still some room, and so obviously there's going to be different coaches that are going to be coming, and there is you. So actually to tell us
I'm
what
really
you are
excited.
going to be doing.
Well, I'm actually, because after the last retreat, we talked about you giving out all the dates for different business activities, and you kind of said to me, okay, but people need to know what they need to do and how they're going to approach it. So I'm going to be basically talking about the strategies and the structures that perhaps not everybody's got set up, especially if they're online entrepreneur, a coach or consultant, because there's a lot of information floating around online, but we don't always get back to the basics of what those things actually mean from a business point of view. So that's what I'll be going through, back to the basic business concept, and making sure that everything's in place in everyone's business going forward.
Yes, that is perfect, because there's some people in business there that they're going to want to know that, because you're obviously very successful in that, and I think that's going to be amazing, because exactly right, some people, they just forget, that business is business, and there are ways of making it happen, and some other ways.
You have to integrate the two, I guess. Yeah.
So that's what I like, is that, the coaches that come, the people that come, actually exactly that's what I was trying to say even when I did the interview with Adam, is that exactly right. You do the work, you're not just doing the talk, you've done it yourself. And that's what is awesome, because in that case, people, like you, can really show the way to the customers that are coming, because there is, result into your life. And so in that case, they can see how to do it, because people
Which fits in with what you told me about my purpose, which I had struggled with for a few years, because you told me this almost exactly a year and a half ago that was my purpose, and it's taken me this long to actually go, oh right, yeah, that's what I gotta do.
It's time.
And you can feel the energy when you're aligned with that. It just feels right. So yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting a life,
because in fact it's pure happiness, because in that case it's pure happiness, because you're actually doing what you've been created for. And that is sometimes even in relationship and things like that. I said to people, don't expect someone else to make you happy. First, do your own purpose, what you've been created for. Then you're going to be so happy that you are going to make everyone happy. And then if your partner is also doing the same, then he's going to also make you happy, because happiness is also an energy. It's like a high energy. So you have to actually, build it and make it happen. And then you can be in sync, plus, the stars. And then people have just lives where they feel really content,
Yeah, because that's all every single one of us here for, is to be happy. We talk about success and money and achievement, but at the end of the day, and a lot of people will tell you that they think they want something, and even for myself, I think I wanted the house, the cars, and I got there, and it's just this emptiness because I didn't look after myself, and I wasn't aligned, with the energies of the universe, if you like. I wasn't aligned with my higher self. I wasn't happy. So, and having someone like you to really help guide people through that, working out what their purpose is. I love the fact that it's all kind of written in the chart, like we all have a higher purpose, but then to be able to then integrate that back to what we do every day. And I know when you first told me in the beginning, I went, what? Like it took me a little while to actually come to terms with it. I was always at the back of my mind, but now that I get it, I just go, yeah, I'm tuned, I'm aligned, I feel great about what I do, and the whole money side doesn't even come into it because you just know.
And money comes because you know, I look after people like you and others, you know, and exactly right, you know, there's a lot of people that go high, getting the money, and then suddenly once they've got the money, they're like, okay, the money is there, and that's one energy, that's one entity, but what about me, you know, because that's what can happen when money goes so high, then the people even are like, okay, you know, the money is there, it's giving a picture of something, but what about me, you know? And that is exactly right, because money is a good energy and it can allow you to do so many things and give you freedom. But in that sense, you still need to be happy. And exactly right, have this purpose. So I think money needs to be in sync with that, you know, saying, okay, I'm creating that money, but I'm happy about the money that I'm making and how I'm making it. And it's in sync with who I am. And that's when I think real happiness is.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's awesome. So we're going to put a link below this video. Of how to book in. So you've got the retreat on the 16th to the 19th of February on the Gold Coast.
Yes.
And on the night of the 16th, we're having a massive Chinese New Year party that anyone can join, and there are tickets for that as well.
Yes.
So we'll put some links down the bottom below. I'll just have a quick look and see if there's any questions. I'm getting a lot of hey, exciting, lovely stuff comments here. But does anyone have any questions at all for Muriel while she's here? Just wait maybe a couple of minutes and see. But otherwise, I think, was there anything that you want to add just while we're waiting?
No, I think, you know, I think that's it. I mean, me, I see it obviously every day because I do 3-4 readings every day, you know, and I can see the way it's changing everyone. So I'm really happy. If we talk about purpose, I'm really happy with mine. See how it's changing. You were talking about that moon that just happened and the way it was cleaning up. So that I can tell you, I've been really busy because I've had people after people telling me what's going on. So it was exactly what it was: a full moon, super moon, blue moon, blood moon, and eclipse in the same time. So you can't get better than that. We've had a blue moon here about 35 years ago, but the whole aspect, especially onto the other side of the world, I haven't had that for about 152 years. So it was the whole lot. So I know a lot of people have been going through, you know, really high energy, or some others, you know, really exhausted. And in fact, these full moons, eclipses are made to release, to get out of what is not useful and then start. And then when we are going to be starting, it's going to be our retreat. That's why the retreat is done at this time, because it's going to be time to plant the seeds and start fresh. So when we are going to be meeting at the retreat, you and me and all the others, we are usually going to be right on a bridge, kind of on a door opening for the next 2 years. So it's going to be a very important, intense. That's why I'm saying to people to come, because it will change your life. It actually brings good luck to celebrate. I will give, you know, the coins that give good luck and prosperity to the people. You know, you will all get an envelope in that aspect, but obviously some other stuff as well. So it's really a good luck thing, because it actually opens up the next 2 years, you know. So that's why I said to people, come over, you know, it's only $30, which, you know, just covers the food. It's not much at all.
I've been on, so you do everything. You set your dates, and this just reminded me. You set all your workshops, everything by the charts and where the planets are. And I know I've been on 3 retreats with you, the very first one being the authors retreat. That's where we met. And then I went on to your last retreat, and then I'm going on this one as well. And every time it's been life changing. Like, my life has not been the same since, and in ways that I couldn't even imagine. So, you know, and they've all been amazing, you know. So I'd really encourage people to come if they're on the Gold Coast and come and celebrate with us. So I don't think there are any other questions. So thank you so much for joining us. It's been fun again, and we'll have to see you again. Well, I'll see you in 2 weeks, but I hope to see you in the group as well. So, I'll put the links below.
Thank you, Heidi.
Bye,
Thank you
everyone.
for everything. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Ciao, Bella. Bye. Bye.
Bye.